Welcome everyone to the Little Fish community gathering. We hold these bi-weekly and we have a growing community of little fish here, all excited to get going and with this new thing that we're going to do. Today we're going to get started on just a discussion about little fish. We're going to ask questions. We're going to do an AMA where many of the little fish answer a few questions, but for anyone who's just starting to catch up on little fish through this video, I just want to do a very short update on what's going on in little fish and give a little threads that they can pull to explore a little bit about what we're doing. So the first thing I want to bring to your attention is this one, the Google Calendar. You can find all the little fish meetings here. So if you're asking yourself the question, okay, well, what is going on? How can I, where can I touch base? Where can I learn more about these things? It's all on the Google Calendar, and I'll put this in the chat for you to take a look. And we hold these community gatherings every 2 weeks. Next week, we're going to hold the Dream Engine workshop, the second one. And if you're interested in that and AI art, you can find it on YouTube. And this is where you can catch up on a lot of stuff. One thing that's going on is the Dream Engine workshop is where we do the AI art. And another that's been going on very solid is the organization labs, where we figure out how to organize in a human-centric way in this decentralized environment. The current topic that we were discussing this week is how to organize sprints in this decentralized environment where many people can participate in an async way. And you can take a look at that through our through the Little Fish Foundation YouTube channel. And very shortly, two more things. We have two mural boards that I feel like need a little bit more attention. One is this board that we had, Rolls of Fish board. Many of you long timers will have seen this board several times by now, but for you who are newcomers, if you want to explore a little bit about what Little Fish does, you can hop onto this board, and I'll put the link here as well for you to edit this board, and you can find out about all the different roles at Little Fish that you can take part of and do your ikigai, which will help you find your way inside of Little Fish. And finally, we have the Token Engineers board, which is where we kind of drop notes about the Token Engineering Fundamentals course that is going to be released tomorrow. Like, this is for module 1, and all the modules will be released tomorrow. So if you're interested in token engineering, you can take a look at this one and drop a DM to me if you need the password for this one. All right, so that's it for me. Very short update. And if any other little fish wants to give a little update about what they've been working on before we get started with the AMA, this is the perfect time.
Hey, I'll jump in. I'm Newman. I have sort of taken on the responsibility or made the commitment to do a weekly review and hold an open office hour on Friday. It's in the calendar. If you find yourself needing orientation and want to see sort of, I think we're on review number 10 now, you can see how the sort of the development in the last 10 weeks. And then things that I put in there are like the YouTube subscribers and Twitter. I also scan through the Discord and post things in there just as part of my service in the to the greater community. And the call to action is, if you read that document and want to participate, like put things together, or if you have things on a weekly basis that you're working on and want to share with me directly so that I can share it with the group, feel free. It's also an open document. You can leave comments and etc.
I'm also working on the new Little Fish Vault, but which is not yet ready yet. I hope it will be ready in a week. I'm pasting the link here in the chat. I'm trying to figure out the CSS and other stuff of Obsidian publish. It's if you know CSS, please help me at this point.
Related to the Vault, I'm working on this document, which is a self-management primer, and just kind of, I know Newman's jumped in, and I welcome any other collaborations or people contributing, but yeah, we're trying to put together a primer on self-management, because in a decentralized community, there's no bosses, managers, or a CEO to tell us what to do. So it's all about how do we decide what to do together and self-manage. So this is a little bit of a primer we're putting together, just so that if you're new to the community, you can see how we do it and what it's all about. But it's not done yet, so it's still a work in progress.
So me, Justin, and Joss are working on the user experience for the littlefish app. And for the last 2 weeks, before this week, that is, we're working purely on the user experience part of it. And now we have taken the user experience part of it and we are putting it into design, which is the user interface. And all three of us have just taken the learnings and created 3 different designs. And after the session today, we would love for you to participate in giving feedback for the designs. And the names of who did which design is completely hidden, so you wouldn't have any biases when giving feedback. So yeah, that's what we're doing.
Just to add on that, I think we're going to have, after this call, a discussion on those designs. We're going to take a look at those designs. Is that right? Sorry, I totally missed that one. Like, that's an important one. Like, after this meeting, if you have any time left, if you want to take a look at those designs and want to input your ideas into those designs, just hop on to just stay after the call, and then we'll take a look at those.
Hey all, so just to jump in a bit, my name is Lucas. I live close to Lisbon in Portugal. What I've been doing is not very well defined, as maybe it's common in littlefish so far, but I can think of 2 main things, which is helping check in a bit with, so my background is in data visualization and financial accounting and planning. So I'm going to try to help mature our sheets for us to have a visibility of where we are, burning our budget and etc. And on a different topic, I'm also working on other projects where I'm helping to explore with wallets and experiment the pros and cons of each wallet. So I'm going to try to contribute on that aspect as well, whether from just a basic use point of view, and as well understanding a bit how multiple addresses work, how a wallet can be tracked, or how you can manage your personal finances using these wallets.
That's cool, man.
That's very cool.
Yeah, that's super great. I saw those spreadsheets. They're really wonderful.
All right, that's a lot of updates. Wow, that makes me so happy. Like, wow, like how many updates was that? Wow. That's very cool. All right, I think with that, we can just jump into, we want this to be like an open discussion about littlefish and the people of littlefish. Any questions that have arisen during this time that you've been involved here, like this would be a great time to ask. And you can ask a specific person, you can ask, just in general. And I encourage anyone who has an idea about any of this to just jump in and answer.
And the silence.
That's okay. We'll get there.
No, I see Harsh is smiling. His mic is open. He's going to go for it. He's going to make it. He's going to place the question.
Put him under pressure.
No,
I love this. Go for it.
Go ahead.
Well, I just starting off with like a community. Here we are as a group, and it is cool to see like folks that we don't get to see as much. But I think it's like important, like in group folks, and I want to know more simply about the principles and guide and the goals of Littlefish. It's like a story that I love to like hear. It's like I'm a little kid and I'm like, tell me the story again, Jim. Tell me the story again of Littlefish. It's like it's cool. I think it's really valuable. So
Yeah, okay. About 5 years ago, I started collecting stones. The stones shaped as fishes. I can show you some here, like this one.
Stones. Oh, yes. Hey.
There's a whale eating a fish right here. And this one. I have about hundreds of fish stones.
So many.
Yeah. But I didn't know that this will go to this point and we will find Littlefish Foundation. So I was wondering what's happening there. And I was asking to myself, why am I finding those little fish stones everywhere? On the mountains, on the beaches and everywhere. I found them everywhere. And about 2 years ago, I think, Nori, is it 2 years ago when we were in C4C and we started making?
It's only been 1 year. C4C.
Oh, really? I'm sorry.
Yeah, time flies.
Yeah.
Time flies.
We made a video about climate change together with Nori, Melanie, Simon, and Bjorn. And after that, we decided to find a way to protect our world. So we need to get together and we need to do something together. So this was the start point of Littlefish Foundation. And the institutions, and the governments and other stuff, they are not taking up our world right now. So we have to act as soon as possible as individuals, and we have to get together. Otherwise, we are little fishes, and the big fishes will eat us if we are alone. So everything started like that. And today we are here with 20 people, and I'm very proud of that one right now.
Yeah. That's lovely. Thank you.
There are no bosses, and there are no diplomas, degrees, and other stuff. There is just passion, working, knowledge, and belief. The things that we forget will come back to life again. This is why Littlefish is for.
That's great.
Thank you.
The morning I met Jem, like we were collecting fish stones.
Yeah.
The morning I met him, like.
After the meeting, I can paste the pictures of some of them to the Discord channel.
That feels like a information, management, something to go in the vault. Like that could be in NJ. That could be like an AI prompt, or has it been? Like we can prompt it with some of those stones. Maybe you can see what comes out.
Yeah, we can do it. Let's make an RDM engine workshop.
Yeah, and I just want to add on Jem's story that he also had a huge impact on C4C. I mean, when we just started, we didn't have anything. And we said, okay, who can do a video? And Jem said, what do you mean? I can do a video. Who can do a website? I can do a website. And 2 days after, we had the best video and website that people, thought we are already existing for 3 years. And that was incredible. Jumpstart. And you need sometimes this jumpstart, right? You need people to give you the first push and to help you, and then other things get around and progress from there in persistence. So yeah. So C4C also a lot of credit for Jem for helping us kick it out.
Yeah. Thank you. And after a while, I was expecting my third daughter, and Chakan take the wheels, and he got 4 out of 7 proposals successfully, and this is his power. He is very intelligent and hardworking, and he is a perfect partner for me.
Proposer in chief. Yeah, let's go.
Actually, I met Jem 5 years ago at my birthday, and he showed me his fish stones, and I create a big fish out of little fishes. And we talk about, we mostly talk about our spiritual journeys, by the way. How can we create, how can we be our bosses? How can we let go ourselves and create something nice for us? And also it will be echoes to people around us. And how can we create some bigger stuff for people we love, or people who share the common interest with us? And today I quit my 9-to-5 job to be a contributor in Littlefish. And I hope I can be an asset to all of us. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. Wow.
Also, she has a fish tattoo.
Yeah.
Lucas has a tattoo project. We have to.
Yeah. I'm trying to bring something to Cardano that's been done in other chains, where if you have sort of a standard to do NFTs of your tattoo, you can preserve it forever on your wallet and do with it what you please. So there's many use cases that we're exploring.
That's nice.
Yeah, I'll keep you up to date on it.
Chakan, tell me about yourself.
Oh, that's too broad.
But tell
I'm
me,
very bad about. Yeah, go ahead.
well, tell me about that day. You were also at the beach, like collecting, like, because that would be a great origin story, like you two, because like meeting, that would like. How did that go down? But you didn't meet on Catalyst. You didn't meet like in a group meeting or anything like that.
No. We met after a night out drinking.
Oh boy.
I met him at the AM, and we talked until the morning. Like we talked until 8 hours, maybe 10 hours, and then we went shopping for fish stones. I was with this crazy person who loved fish stones, and we just met and then went through hunting for fish stones. And for some reason, I don't know why, I was like, this is okay. It's not crazy. It's okay. Yeah, that's fine. It was the greatest decision I've ever made, really.
Really cool. And then, and I imagine also in the blockchain and the sort of environmental protection and these things, and organizational development, those things kind of came up in the conversation.
I think they came up a little later, well, after we went into Catalyst and Cardano. Like those have all been new developments, I'd say.
Nice.
But after that, I started working with Jim. I started working for him. He was my boss for 3 years. And we were working together for 3 years until we jumped onto Cardano. And then Littlefish has been like a project we made together. And it just came out of talking. We just talked about what we can build. And we were just started out with the C4C video. Like that's exact moment I came in. Like that's the first moment I remember coming into Cardano. Before that, I didn't know anything about Cardano. Just that it was like a top 10 coin. That's it. That's the only thing I knew.
Newman taking notes.
We need to
taking notes.
I'm always doing it. I can't stop it. It's like my grandmother. She would knit. She would knit like with her hands, and sometimes she would hide it So like no one knew.
Okay.
But here you go. I just shared the website. Oh, there it is down at the. I get the video. This is the video that we're talking about.
I remember seeing that video. Like that was that was almost a year ago. I saw that video. I think one of our other friends, Berk, was kind of helped out on that one as well. Just watching it on his screen, I'm like, I didn't realize Jim was working on Cardano and working on this group called C4C. I'm like, what is he doing? I don't understand. And then I came to Izmir, and then we talked about it for like 2 days straight. And I was like, okay, what are we doing next? Okay, let's start. Let's begin. Let's create something. And I think it was like it took us maybe 2 conversations, and I was writing the first proposal. That was the Fund 7 proposal that didn't get funded.
That's the magic of Catalyst. That's the magic of
that got funded, no? The Fund 7 one that got funded, or no?
Oh, the Fund 7 one didn't get funded. That's the Kiva SDG model. It was close. It was close, but it didn't get funded.
The Fund 8 at 12 a.m. midnight before the proposal.
Oh, yeah. We figured that one out 3 days before the end of the proposals, like the deadline. Like we hadn't realized, like, why aren't we writing a new proposal? That question didn't pop up. We said, like, we don't have a reason to write a proposal. And then 3 days before, we were having a conversation, I think with Jem. We were like, oh yeah, like action, littlefish. Oh, that makes sense. Let's do it. And then in 3 days, we took Yoram, and Yoram was advising on the proposal.
Yeah.
He did lots of edits, lots of good feedback, and we shaped that proposal in like 3 days. And then after that, Yoram was like, let's not do that again. Let's prepare properly next time.
And you did incredible job next time. Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks to you. It was very good feedback.
Yeah.
Very good advice.
Yeah, no, it's great.
I was just taking a quick look at the video for C4C. It's really nice. I'm sharing it with my brother.
Yeah,
thank you.
Yeah.
Now we actually, Nori is leading. Actually, now we are kind of looking on the next steps of the website and all of that. But yeah, anyway, that's for C4C.
Yeah, and Jem continues to help support us with our website stuff. So thank you for always supporting us there.
Anytime, Nori.
Nice.
Yeah, I can raise. I don't know if someone wants to get someone more emotional, but otherwise, I can raise some subject to speak. I'm very interested on the view. I mean, the way littlefish was developed up to now, it's in a very, if you want, and I mean, in your vision and the way you kind of launch it, or even for Fund 9, is in a very distributed, decentralized way, we can say it, right? I mean, there's a lot of topics, everyone can jump in, do part of the topics. Again, a lot of littlefish is working. But sometimes a lot of ways to scale a project, right, is kind of having a very clear one message and way to scale around them, and then goes like that. So I'm just curious about, people's feedback and thoughts around that, because I think you're doing things very different, right, than the norm, which is wonderful, and you want to build something different. But also, I mean, there's a question of, how to scale fast or faster. It makes sense. But there's the kind of the game between, trying to do a lot of things in parallel and advance, with some roadmap versus putting on efforts on one or two key things, and then from there developing like that. just happy to hear everyone's thoughts about that. If it makes sense what I'm saying, to everyone. And I don't know. It's not that I have a right way, because I think there's not right or wrong way. That makes sense.
That makes quite a bit of sense to me. I would love to hear everybody's opinions on that as well.
So while others are formulating their incredible thing, I love to talk. So I'll summarize this. It's like this: we're doing things in a decentralized way, and that may sort of diffuse the speed at which we go, and the speed at which we scale. Doing a lot of things quickly, and then versus doing sort of the focused on a few things. Is that sort of where we're?
Yeah, I mean, many times, when you scale a company, I mean, you say focus, right? Focus on one thing, do it great, and then scale, right? That's the kind of the standard thing. And again, but we're not doing something standard, so I'm not doing this. But here the approach is very different, right? And it might, but there still need to be many times, in my view, one or two focus area, and one of them can be, let's inspire people to join, right? That can be a focus area. So everything you do, you want to make sure that you inspire people to join, even if you do a lot of things. You have this key goal, and everything you do, you question: did I inspire more people to join, right? Or check and know that I love the idea of focusing on the Ikigai model as a something huge, incredible potential to actually onboard many people, and then through that, start developing other models. But I mean, this is just my view on that, right? Because sometimes it's tough for everyone to understand everything all the time, especially as you grow, right? So what is the one thing that everyone will know when they join to littlefish, even if you join tomorrow? Because we want to grow, we don't want to stay. I mean, it's already growing and wonderful, and it's amazing, but we want to take it further, right? Anyway, I'm just putting this. I know it's late for me, so I might speak some nonsense, but already after 12 hours of work, but well, actually 14 hours of work. So, but I'm putting it in.
It's an important topic. Like, do you really focus or not? But also in a decentralized group, it's like, who decides what's important? And there are different ways that other groups have done that. Like, I don't know, Chuck-On recommended this book called Brave New Work at one point. So I've been reading it. And there's an example in there from a company called Valve, and they're a game company. And every now and then they'll have a company-wide meeting, and people will put ideas up on the wall. And then people just vote with their feet. They say, I want to partake in this project. So they sign up and they go. And the ones that gather the people are the ones that actually happen. Nobody decides. It's just everybody decides by what they're passionate about, what they want to work on. And then the ideas that don't get people grouped around them, it's not time for them yet, or it's a bad idea or whatever. But it's kind of, I thought that was a really cool way for people to decide what they want to do. Is everybody puts up ideas of projects or things they want to build, and then people go to the ones that they are attracted to, and it naturally kind of creates these colonies or groups around them, and they just go. It's kind of like swarm or hive kind of functionality. So that could be one way to do it. But there's also, like, we've had a number of different organization labs and different things going on. And it's just one person goes, I think we should do this. And a lot of people kind of congregate there. And that's another one. It's almost like that super saturated solution of sugar. And then you drop a string in as your idea, and then the sugar crystals start to crystallize around it. So having that generative, like, here's my string, who wants to crystallize around this, is another model to use too.
Yeah, but at the same time, sometime in the beginning, I mean, you start with the centralized team somehow, and then you open it, right? Also, I mean, that's also an approach. And then you start using all the different models. You start with a focus direction somehow I love this idea of the cycle of things.
like we have, month and week and day cycles. We've got the seasonal cycles. We've got the cycles of catalyst. The Cardano epochs are a cycle. I love the idea of like there's a time to like stretch out and get new members, for instance, and then a time to sort of like or get new projects, and then a time to sort of pull in and focus. So yeah, like that's an idea to share.
Thank you, Neyman. Tolgay, welcome.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Oh, hey, man.
Welcome to the crew.
I'm quite a newbie, but I like the spread a lot, and it's been some reading, but gotta read more, but hear more and listen more to hear what's that. Like that, maybe some container or something we're living in right now could turn to like to some shape that we would see through, like what it becomes. But something gonna be something alive. That's what I feel. And I'm so happy to find Littlefish Foundation and this idea, Nori, illustrated there is totally something I've been looking for the last 1-2 years. Such approach that would bring people together in their ways and then see what models comes out or what collaborations and something that each colony maybe have some identity to some extent, but also making something together that's like who knows what, and it's like infinite. I'm so excited, and I might have questions later. I'm gonna listen.
Please ask anything that comes to your mind. So, welcome. Regarding your question, our philosophy is the weakest chain always determine the outcome. So we are keen to express our weakest chain in Littlefish, and we are asking the professionals to help us in their region. So when we join our forces, especially in different areas of work, we can create a better organization than we do it in conventional ways. So I think we can catch the sustainability by helping each other with our own professions. So I can't do everything by myself, and you cannot do it. And but together we can do everything. So we have several professions, and we are not like each other, and we can fill the gaps, and we can create the perfect system together.
Yeah, no, that's wonderful message, Jem, and definitely agree. So, it's amazing message, and
I think I'd like to add on top of that as well. Like the way we do things is very unconventional. Like if you were running a startup, just like you said, you got to focus on one thing. You would just focus on Ikigai, have a team of 5, maybe 6 people, work on that product, build that product, get to product market fit, and then scale. Like that's the playbook, and it works. What we're doing is more like we're doing maybe 2 software startups at the same time with Ikigai, and then the actions. Those are 2 different things that we think will converge at some point. But also what we're doing is kind of trying to understand how to run a decentralized organization based on these people-centric teal principles. And that's just something that's not done. Like we're kind of doing that. Aside from that, we're also doing some research work. You can think about that as a enterprise all on its own. That has actually several different types of research going on. So maybe littlefish, we have to think about it as a network of small startups. Like that's a model from a company called Hire, where they have like 8 to 10 people teams that are running different, what they call micro enterprises. So these are like small startups that they're running. So Ikigai could be a startup within littlefish. The action team can be a startup within littlefish. The research, the tech help research and tech help, that is a team within littlefish, a support team. And just like that, like it grows. Like we're casting a very wide net and kind of figuring out how to make this all work within the decentralized context. And this is all emerging from the realities of this environment. So it is very unconventional, and we'll see how to scale that. Like it's a question to be answered.
Yes, no, I understand that, but yeah, I mean, I don't know any use case, and maybe we can find, or maybe we can create of something that scale that was so diverse, right? I mean, you can have impactful projects that are very focused, like 1 trillion trees, right? I mean, more focus than that you cannot have, right? In an approach, but so maybe you need to think about. I mean, again, maybe we need to think. I mean, I'm part of that of the. How do you define this multitasking, decentralized framework as the key element to figure out? Because
if you're interested in that, you jump into the Org Labs call and figure it out together.
Yeah, no, I hear you, but I'm just I'm happy to jump and we'll jump to that definitely. And I'm just saying this. Anyway, I just wanted to open that because I mean that's a fair concern that I want to see littlefish scaling. I mean, obviously, right? And things have time and energy and so on, but just trying to think that we need to scale. How you bring additional 50 people now that fast understand what's going on and what they need to do, right? And then how you bring 200 more people and then more colonies and it will not happen. It might just happen just because people jump in and take parts of it and go with them. Or it might happen if we give it some direction.
So I was just thinking of your question was just putting the image in my mind of like a tree grows by, initially has like just a few branches, then they branch out, and etc. Yeah. It grows complexity. But for me, transposing that to an organization would be the people that we have so far will be mentoring others and, growing the community a bit organically like that. So I wouldn't be that concerned in getting the next layer of people until the current people are ready to be mentors, to be organizing and sharing that mindset. No,
I love it, and I love this image. So we are creating a mentor organization. I'm just, that will be a focus area in what we do. So we need to. I'm just saying, if that's the strategy to grow, which I love it, and we just need to think how we incorporate it in what we do now so we can enable the people then to mentor. Not everyone will be a great mentor, but we need to think how we incorporate it because that would be maybe a good way to grow. I'm sorry, I don't want to put the outlook. I'm just thinking that, there need to be something that we all know that help us to achieve what we want to achieve, the growth. And it doesn't have to be to focus on 1 million trillion trees. Can be focusing on again, inspiring people. I mean, that's also a message, or enabling people to be mentors, that they will grow it, or I don't know. It has to be something in the DNA that support that.
So what exactly are you all referring to when you mean growth? Are you meaning the number of actions produced or the number of people involved in producing the actions?
Excellent question. I don't know what we want to achieve.
No?
Yeah.
I think they think to maximize at this stage is like really high quality work. Like if we maximize that, I think growth will come in terms of users, in terms of future contributors. That's all gonna come. Like let's build the best Ikigai software that we can build. Let's build the best action software that we can build. Let's have the best research that we can create. Like if we do all those things, like we're gonna grow in every way that we want to grow. That's all gonna come with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you want to demonstrate by example that your Ikigai base layer works, because that gives purpose, meaning, earning. It's as an outsider, because I'm new to this and I'm learning how it works, and you are all developing as if it's still bubbling and boiling and taking shape. I think indeed the Ikigai is key. If you build that up, then you have motivation, you have purpose, and then I think then your remark that you gave, Yo, will then be answered in what direction you would want to go. I think.
I love it. I mean, I'm a great believer in the Ikigai, as Shaka knows. So yeah, I mean, I definitely love it. Yeah, Newman.
As an outsider, me myself, I'm still learning what a DAO is to begin with, and I noticed the resources that you developed on your Miro platform, and one of them is helping you to identify and split the jobs and give certain people certain responsibilities, as I understand it. My personal issue is now, it's not an issue, but it's like, how do I fit in as an outsider, a new person, in adding value to the whole concept, and what is useful? What can I bring as useful? So I'm a bit surfing on the top of the water, and the fish are swimming below me, knowing how it all works. But I'm still looking direction, and I'm assuming in my mind that sometime in the future, somebody of this group will talk to me and maybe say like, okay, or a person that started like, I see you are interested in that one. Maybe come along. We'll talk about it, and let's work together, because you seem to know something about CSS, for example, or you know something about developing AI. And I think it will start growing, because then more and more people will hook on to, because they have a friendship, a community around everyone. And so all these groups will start to stick together. It doesn't answer correctly your remark, but that's what I'm thinking. Now feel free to change my thought here.
An excellent example. Yeah, check on, please. Sorry.
That's pretty much what we want to achieve with Ikigai. Like that's how it first started. Then we realized it does quite a bit more than just helping a newcomer find their place within an organization. But that is the critical use case that it emerged out of. It emerged out of a need for these communities, these DAOs. And I think I can, like, personally, I feel this way, and I believe like pretty much everybody in this call feels this way. Nobody knows what a DAO is. Like, we're all figuring it out. Like, I even feel I've just heard this. I don't know where I heard it. Like, decentralized autonomous organization, it's a bad name because most aren't decentralized when they have a token vote. A token vote is basically a public company that has equity share voting. Like that's what a token vote is. It's not decentralized. So our language is a little bad there.
But there are cases when it can be used. For example, say there's a token weightage for actions done. So you're building reputations through actions and working. So I think there are, some advantages to it, but also a lot of disadvantages. Yeah. Just had to jump in. Sorry.
No, but I heard that the DAO changed the name to a colony. They decided to change to colonies.
No, we have to change it to something else. Oh yeah, by the way, let's change the name. It doesn't sit well with either me or Jem. We want to change the name. So if you have any ideas about what we can call groups of people coming together to do stuff, just a very broad definition, but it's got to sound cool. So if you have any ideas, drop it in Discord in the ideas channel. Let's brainstorm.
There's got to be some natural, like a colony. Colony feels good if you're like, oh, it's an ant colony or a bird colony or oh, wait a minute, what is a bird colony? It's like groups of animal. But school sucks. I don't want to be a school of fish. It's just stinky.
School of fish, shoal of fish is another one that exists, but nobody knows what a shoal is. So,
you could be a pod.
Shoal.
Yeah, I think we had this discussion once where I was sending you those references for the group of fish and all. It's not very common names.
You can be a pod.
A pod.
Hey, is my mic working now?
Which one, Randall?
Is my mic working now?
Oh, we got you now. Yeah, we got you.
Okay, sorry.
If I may suggest something, like if we're referring a reference to Lord of the Rings, we can call it like the Fellowship of Littlefish, maybe. that may sound cool.
Here is why I'm so opposed to it, because it sounds like one of those fancy rich people sitting up there, but like the rest of the people are not allowed in. I want a name that wants to say like everyone is welcome, come in.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true.
One question about defining your person. In Miro, there is a page about the roles of fish. Do you all filled it in yourself manually, or was there some kind of a workshop where you were guided? Or how does that work? How do you find, because responsibilities, for me, it feels a bit like, okay, you have to do it. These are your tasks. Go for it. And what happened?
I can jump in because I joined in later, just like you did. So
thank you.
I didn't have any basis to like do anything, but yeah, I did it by myself because I was trying to understand what work I can actually do because I couldn't figure out what was happening. So once I did my Ikigai and compared it to the work available, I could make some assumptions and say, oh, these are works that I could do. So that's how it worked out for me.
Randall, you were going to say something? Got interrupted a little bit. You're on mute.
That's unmuted.
You're still muted, Randall.
No?
No.
There you go.
All right, here we go. I was gonna jump about 5 or 10 minutes back to a fork point in the conversation. The fork point was keyword inspire people. And I'm really interested in how tools and inspiration can like supplement each other. Like what gets in the way? I'm inspired to ask the question, what gets in the way between people being inspired to go do things, not task level stuff, but like audacious things, big things? What gets in the way between their inspiration to do those and their like ability to to like reach that point that they're inspired to reach?
Yeah, the fruition. Like we all get inspired. I'll say what we all get inspired, and we've been inspired. We've been around for a while, and then for some reason it's like, oh, it doesn't go, or it doesn't make expectation, or when we look back, is that sort of, like, and then basically how can we facilitate? How can we make it easier? Make the slide from being inspired to like the fruition, like creating the thing, like, oh, a really great product, a great Ikigai workshop, a great documentation, a great Obsidian vault, like those. Is that what sort of we're thinking of?
Well, it certainly would be an element. Maybe the other side of that same coin would be like when people are inspired and don't achieve, what stuff stood in their way?
Yeah.
What kinds of things get in the way of people being able to?
I mean, if I can go first, and I can only speak from my experience. I think the basic necessities of food and shelter and bills like come in the way. That's like one of my personal biggest thing, because I have to make sure that my hand to mouth lifestyle is taken care of. And then I can think about inspiration. And on top of that, there's a lot of peer pressure for family, specifically because I come from a slightly more conservative country. So there's a huge family pressure saying, why are you doing all of this instead of doing like 100,000 job like everyone else is doing? So that is from my perspective.
No, I think it's a great question. And a lot of people, many times in the discussion of why we are here, right, in general, is because of hope, right? You're here. Hope to build different systems, hope to build different, social, environmental. A lot of people coming from, a lot of different, fed up from the current system outside. So it's kind of, I think this is how we inspire each other and work. I mean, again, and people do things for each other, like Jem jumping in, doing the website. I mean, we didn't even know each other. We knew each other for a week, right? And this guy is going and, spending all this time to do something. I mean, because, I think you're trying to do something that is bigger, than you understand that is needed, and you're trying to do something different. That makes sense. And I think we are inspiring each other all the time. I mean, every person, I speak with, this community, keeps you, spending now at 10 p.m. after, starting to work at 8 a.m. with you guys. I mean,
yeah. I want to go back to something that, and thank you, Yoram. I want to go something that Kevin said, and about like the onboarding. It's like we get inspiration is a key part of onboarding. Like we get, and we sort of like really love the artwork. We get the metaphor. I think for me, it was just like Git book, and it was just like, oh, like these things, like I just felt the resonance, and I was like, oh, this is something new. But then what Kevin said, something about like that support, that just the right amount of support, not kind of stifling support, not too, the Icarus, flying right in the middle, not too close to the waves and not too close to the sun, just that right amount of support that says, here, an Ikigai plays a part, because it's sort of like, oh, look, hey, I saw that you are in this zone, and here's how you can work towards that inspiration, or like that it, and that's like a cultural thing. It's like a way of kind of I guess support and culture, like a culture of mentoring and a culture of sort of like being open and participatory. So like we know how to collaborate. not that it's not we know that collaboration is important or is necessary, that we actually like practice and know how to like co-create, how to do things, to bring people on, work with them, and then really the opposite of that, like letting people sort of move through and not get sort of stuck. Like that there's like a real, I guess support for collaboration. Yeah. Those are just some thoughts. But Kevin, it really sparked that sparked it for me, is when you're like, oh yeah, I'm like it because we're doing something new. Our cultural lenses and our old patterns can kind of get in the way. So directly, Randall, I think that we get inspired, and then there's basically psychology kicks in. We're like, oh, I can't be the one that solves the, this part of the puzzle, or, we get too, I can self-sabotage or feel like I need something when, that keeps me from fully participating.
I think there's a huge advantage to having new people come in with these kind of questions. Like the thing that stood out was when Kevin said, it feels like I'm floating on top of the ocean and seeing all the little fish swimming below me, and I don't know how to swim with them yet. And I think part of it is the onboarding process is, how do we do that? How do we really make sure people know how to jump in and feel safe and supported? And like you said, having some kind of mentoring or, I was part of a Zen center, and when you joined as a new member, one of the members would be assigned or volunteer to be your kind of buddy, so that you could reach out at any time if you have any questions or something seemed strange or you need to just bounce something off of somebody. You had somebody to go to. So you weren't speaking into this large room and hoping that somebody would help you. You knew that somebody was actually there engaged, and that might be a really good way. But finding a way to engage with newcomers and supporting them, and also maybe doing some kind of a reflection, Kevin, to say, is the material that's there not in the right modality? If the written vault isn't good enough, should we be creating videos, or should we do a project-based learning course, or what is it that's missing that helps people onboard and get engaged? I think that'd be a useful interview kind of thing to do for people that are coming on.
Impact onboarding. Yep.
And the onboarding that we do is pretty much, I think it's purposefully abstract, and you got to kind of dive deep into it to understand what's going on. It's a little challenging, but it's also kind of fun if you let yourself into it, and it's kind of purposeful. But I think we have issues once somebody has dived deep into it, and then at some point they do need some mentoring, like, because after they have shown a lot of effort in being active in the community, doing something. Like Kevin has been very active in the AI art part. I think like at some stage, like a flag needs to go up, and then maybe some conversations need to happen. But any ideas on what we need at that? I think Kevin has many ideas there. Like,
I noticed first of all that the most important response that I am now thinking about is imagine as a new fish, you join, you try to read and understand how the process works, how you could integrate, and what are the other fish doing, and how do I fit in? If you could find a way as a new fish to feel being of purpose, that you could deliver something rather quick first by following some sort of a process that onboards a little bit, that helps. Because once you feel, okay, I've put some input in that was valuable for the whole bigger idea, then you feel at home, you feel within the community, and it will go on. So you will be motivated to continue and thrive. I noticed that on Discord, you have this little mechanism that says more posts that you make, apparently, you get some kind of a level upgrade. Now, okay, that's, I'm not a big Discord user. I'm starting to learn as well. And now I'm level 4 or something. I'm like, woohoo. So that's a nice, neat thing. So once you're level 10 or something, then that red flag pops up, like you mentioned. Maybe that's an idea that you could use for onboarding. But yeah, I think purpose, and then guiding, maybe something like that. You want to feel a bit that you're worthy as a little fish just jumping in the pond. Compare that the other fish with a lot of experience. How do you feel swimming around them? So think about that as well. So no negativity here. It's not my point, but that's what comes up to me. But one more example, I've done a few hackathons where you do coding or non-coding or change the world, make the world a better place in that hackathon, and you try to make a team of 5 to 6 people and try to build a challenge. There's 1 or 2 big main questions that a company proposes, and you try to figure out in 2 or 3 days. Some sprint, as you mentioned in your last meeting. Well, at the end of the 3 days, you deliver an end document or a presentation, and you get voted in or out in the top 3. Maybe that mechanism can be used as well. I don't know. I keep it open here and throw it to you. So that's my train of thought here.
That's good.
Thank you.
That makes a lot of sense to me, to get people to express a bit themselves and other people to validate or reinforce or not. It feels very organic.
And that's pretty much how we kind of figured this out as well. Like things like this bubble up, and like there's a lot of problems that we're trying to solve at the same time. Problems just emerge, and then we take solutions of it. Just like try things and go forward. And if you could put that down onto the ideas channel as well, and let's have a conversation about that and see if we can implement it in some way. And how we can implement it. Maybe a forum post to discuss this on Discord to get some of these ideas off the ground and running. Because I feel like many of us approaching this from many different angles are seeing many different problems. The more we talk about them, discuss them, share, have a conversation about them, the more we're going to be able to solve all of those problems. And once we get to solving, it's going to be really easy solving them continuously. Then it becomes a culture of solving those problems. That's going to be crazy. Then it's going to be very crazy.
So I just dropped something in the chat, which is basically while you guys were talking, I was picking up some random words and I started connecting them with the Ikigai. And so I ended up with that. I didn't do Miro. I really just did paint or something. So excuse the clumsy presentation, but it's just to say that the words we've been talking about, they actually relate a lot to the Venn diagram that is Ikigai. So I just dropped inspire in terms of people finding what they love, motivate in terms of what the world needs, match with your skills in terms of what you're good at. Then for what we can be paid for, we have to trust the proposer in chief that someone dropped in the chat, and networking between our communities. It's probably going to help provide us with a budget line from partners and clients to get paid for building and for flourishing a bit as a community. Also, I think Kevin was mentioning purpose and guiding, which is it. What's interesting there that I was thinking out is as there's some of the purpose and guiding quadrant feels like it's a bit more established in Littlefish as an institution. And then what the person is good at is actually the main thing that they are bringing to the organization. So the process of onboarding is going to be sort of the catalyst where we try to align our purpose and guiding to the little fish that's joining to try to align. Anyway, I'm not reinventing Ikigai. I'm just pointing out we've been talking about Ikigai in a way. Make sense to someone? Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense, and that might give us some areas of focus, right? I mean, it's great. So, I think, yeah, well done. Nice thought, Lucas.
Yeah. Just throwing things in there. Cheers.
Oh yeah, Ikigai is awesome. We're like 17 minutes over the line. I think it's a good place to cut off the meeting, and then we're gonna continue on with the 3 designs. Sorry to keep you designers waiting for this long, guys. Sorry, this discussion has been very, very fun. So goodbye, YouTube. See you guys. Thank you all.